Hello Diamonds, welcome back to another edition of Healing Empathic Hearts. My name is Kathi Sottosanti, or Coach Kathi the Fit Spirit, and I'm here to be your guide to the inside, where we find our light and we turn it on for good. So today we're going to be talking about breakfast with a narcissist, and I'm going to dive right in hopes that the stories that I share with you resonate with some of you so that you know you're not alone and you're not crazy and you have a voice. And you are allowed to use your voice. And if it's too hard to use your voice in your own situation, you can use it here. You can use it by leaving comments. You can also join me in a private group on Facebook by the same name, Healing Empathic Hearts, where we will look to shine as brightly as we are meant to be. We're all diamonds. So let's get started. All right, so this week I was in Atlantic City and my friend Judy and I were having breakfast at the Hard Rock Cafe. As you know, in pandemic style, everything is outside. So we were at a table for two, and next to us came a couple they were 60, because he said so I know they were 60. And they sat down, and it was in very close proximity. And while we were engaged in our own conversation, and this is gonna sound like I was butting in, and maybe I was just a little, because I was so blown away by the change in this man's personality. It was a classic narcissist story. And it was so hard for me to do nothing, which there's nothing I can do because it's none of my business to butt in any way with this couple who's on vacation. But it saddened me to see this woman's light so dim. I can actually look at faces and hear people talking to themselves on the inside and suffering on the inside because she was incapable of speaking up for herself. So I'm hoping that this video is the voice for a lot of people who may be struggling with the same thing but can't speak up. You can safely speak up here. Leave a comment. You are on our team and this is a safe place. So this couple's having breakfast. Actually, they just sat down, and the first thing out of his mouth was taking his phone and putting it into his wife's face, saying, come on, you know how to do this texting. Don't tell me you don't know how to do this texting. And he was pretty aggressive in his conversation with her, trying to get her to do something on the phone. And she was a very quiet soul. And I'm sure that was because she's been taking this for a very long time, my thought process, if I were to guess, and she's just wiped out with no energy and nothing left to speak up from. So here he is, pretty aggressive, and boom, waitress walks up. Now she's not much older or younger than this couple, not much skinnier or heavier or what have you, just another woman. And he instantly changes. So let's call him, well, I'll just call him Guy. So Guy instantly changes, looks up and says, well, hello, what's your name? And she says, Angie. That's a beautiful name, Angie. And just lights up. And Angie's all, thank you, and happy and lit up by Guy because his personality changed on a dime. And his wife's sitting there, probably in disbelief, but used to it. And again, I'm not diagnosing them. I don't know them. This was just such a classic case. It just caught my attention and my heart for her. So the waitress leaves, and the next thing he goes right back into being fairly aggressive with his wife in a negative way, and then questions her and says, what's the matter? Come on, cheer up. Cheer up. I've just been beating you up a little bit here with negative comment after negative comment. And then he expects her to cheer up and says, come on, let's take a picture, current situation. And it was really mind-blowing. Waitress comes back, all cheered up. He manages to drop a bunch of pills on the ground that he was about to take with water or breakfast, and jokingly says, up, my Viagra just fell through the cracks. All we could think was, thank you, God, his Viagra fell through the cracks, because this poor woman doesn't need a minute extra with this guy. Okay, that was a little bit of a sidebar. Regardless, he was actually only joking and trying to be funny. But when you're in this kind of situation, it really isn't funny. It's especially not funny to his wife. So when he offered to go for a walk after breakfast, I could just feel her silence. So my friend and I chose to go for a walk after our 10-mile bike ride. And we now walked on the boardwalk to get more exercise in. And on our return trip, we saw a guy by himself. I would have loved to have found her just to say something loving and kind to a stranger. But since I couldn't, I'm using these videos as a way to be a voice for people who hopefully will find this channel, and if they resonate with it, know they're not alone, they're not crazy, you have a voice. If this sounds familiar to you, perhaps you're in a similar situation, join us on the journey of learning, of enlightenment, of empowerment, as I work with stories and analogies from things that I've encountered, people that I'm working with, incognito, never sharing stories publicly, but using examples, because what affects one affects thousands. Your story is no different from so many other people. And I'm not saying that to not make it special. It's actually empowering to know that you are not alone. You're part of a major group. Stay tuned and hit that bell so you get notified when I post more videos like this. My goal is not to focus on all things narcissism, but all things you, light, and how to turn that bright light on and keep it on. This is a journey to empowerment, to feeling good, and to taking one step at a time and finding your light. Thank you, everybody. See you in the next video.